Well, today is a very exciting video for me. I've got the whole entire OEM A-Spec lip kit that I got in really good condition. We did a full refinish. We got brand new spanking bumpers front and rear. And today in this episode is when it comes all together. But let me show you exactly what we started off with and how we got to this point right here. So we got the whole OEM body kit in the body shop. And let me tell you, it was really hard to find this full kit. It definitely wasn't the cheapest kit, but I had to have it because you'll see once we get this installed, this kit makes the vehicle. This whole kit came with all of the hardware necessary, just like factory, and we were able to get it with the side skirts. This whole kit was listed on eBay, and I messaged the actual seller. He's taking it off of his vehicle because he wants to track it. And that's even better for me because now I have a whole complete kit with all the hardware. These kits are really hard to find, and the fiberglass option isn't an option for me at all. So once we get everything sanded down with a nice 320 grit, then we're going to put on our own new primer. And this primer is going to give us a nice substrate, a nice material to sand on so we can lay our Vivid Blue paint. There were some areas that needed a little bit of body work here and there to make sure it is down to perfection. So Juan and I handled it and did all the body work and got everything all primed in. Now, once everything was all primed in, then we took it back into the body shop and we started sanding it. The sanding of the primer is the most important part of the painting process because you want to make sure there's no defects or any pits or any cracks in the primer that will show through in the paint. So we took a lot of special detailed time to sand down the primer and check every little surface area. So when the paint went down, we knew in the end we would have a perfect product. And not forgetting about the side skirts. The side skirts will get sanded down as well. Now, something funny about this kit, the owner purchased this kit and painted it black to match the car. But guess what? It used to be Vivid Blue. So we'll get these side skirts all sanded down so we can get them in primer as well, so we can match the front and rear and paint everything at one time, which is crucial to the color matching process. Now, I did opt for brand new front and rear OEM bumpers, so everything is nice and crispy with the kit and everything mounts to the fenders and the quarter panels nice and clean. So we got these all scuffed up and then we moved them into the paint booth. Once we had everything in the paint booth, then we started the cleaning process, making sure everything was completely clean. That way when our paint lay down, we don't have any dirt, we don't have any fish eyes. We have much of a factory paint job that we want. We're starting with a blue sealer now. If you recall watching this series, everything on this vehicle was first painted in a blue sealer, which is a very similar color to the actual Vivid Blue that we're going to be using. This is just a little bit lighter, but the sealer acts as a perfect substrate so that when the Vivid Blue goes on, it covers well, and it's like a primer. This is like a thinned out primer, so when it goes down the road, it's going to be a lot better for rock chips or different objects hitting it. It's going to be able to hold that paint, and this is a part of the painting process, making sure that everything is completely sealed, and after it's sealed, you can see it's kind of like a matte blue. That's the way it flashes. After that, we are ready for our Vivid Blue. And this Vivid Blue is the same exact paint that was left over from the vehicle, so we make sure we mix up enough so that when we go to paint our kit, we're following the same exact process. If we don't follow the same exact process, these colors and these panels will not match on the vehicle. Even though it is the same exact paint, if you do not have the same substrate or the same color underneath your Vivid Blue, especially blue, because blue is transparent, your color can appear lighter or darker. So it is very important to follow the same exact process. And that's exactly what I did on every single part of this vehicle. And that is why everything matches so well on the vehicle. Now, we chose to go with the same 3 coats of base coat, and 3 coats of base coat gets you that true Vivid Blue. Now, there is many different variations to this color. We actually ended up choosing the lightest version, the brightest and the most vibrant version that Vivid Blue had in our system, and I love it. Now, there's different colors. Like I said, there's a lighter, there's a darker, there's a greener version of this color. So I think there's about maybe 12 or so different variants to this color. So again, color matching could be a little bit more difficult if you're trying to match this vehicle. If you have a Vivid Blue now and you have it in a body shop, the body shop's really going to have to do their job to use the camera or the different variants that the actual system has to match your color as good as possible. And you know, if you have a Vivid Blue, or if you've seen Vivid Blues on the internet, or if you've seen them even in person, sometimes if they're older, you might find that there's a couple panels that are a little bit darker or lighter, and that is one of the main reasons why. So we're going to go ahead and get everything cleared here, and then we'll go ahead and check it out once it's all done. Now this whole kit came out so nice and so sweet, and it matches the vehicle perfectly. You see how smooth it is inside and out. I'm really thrilled with the way it looks. Now, you might have noticed that I did paint the whole rear bumper, and I did paint the black portion, and I did this for a reason. If you want the cleanest possible version of this bumper with the black portion nice and clean with a crispy edge, you got to paint the whole bumper first, and then you're going to come back over it, sand it with a 600 grit, then whip out my little detail gun and use the SEM trim black. You've seen this on the channel many times. It comes in aerosol and it comes in an actual paintable form. And now the aerosol worked great, but this is a little tight area, so the mini gun works good to kind of get into all those little tough areas and then shoot the paint just precisely underneath the little trim. And this is what it looks like once it dries. It's got that same exact look. And honestly, the black that was there before is just black primer from Honda. It's not actual paint. It's just black primer. So now that we got the SEM trim black paint on it, it's just looking super nice. Next up, we got painted the OEM high wing, which I really feel like this makes the vehicle, this makes the car. I really am a big fan of how awesome it looks. This particular wing is actually a Type R wing. It was shipped over from Japan, so that's kind of cool that we have something from another country on the USDM. So we're going to go ahead and get the last of the last pieces to paint the front and rear beams. This is the last white on the vehicle, so we're going to go ahead and get these all painted in the same exact way using that same blue sealer. And then after that, we follow it up with the blue, Vivid Blue, and then the clear coat. And these are the shiniest beams on any DC5. I guarantee you that. All right, so you saw me just finish up all of the lip kit, and it looks really good. Now, it's the next day, and it's all dry. And we got the help of TJ. I'm here to actually help him because he doesn't sure how to do some of these things. I'm going to help him put the bar on, the lip kit to the bumper, and we're going to get this thing all accessorized right now. This wasn't on straight, and it's not going to come up. All right, so when TJ did this originally, he didn't know that the actual bar has to go here. So we ended up having to take off the headlights real quick because on this one, it's a little bit different. The bolts go from the top. So we're going to go ahead and handle that real quick.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, Brian wanted to prematurely put the headlights on because he didn't know what it would look like with new stuff.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead and handle this mistake real easily. Mike, did you see the success? Now we're gonna put the optional or non-optional deck lid here. This comes up shorter than the actual big wing spoiler. And this was actually meant to cover up the holes that are in the middle from the deck lid spoiler. What we ended up doing is covering up those holes anyway so moisture doesn't get through, but I still like the look of it. That's why we went ahead and put this on. It's actually aftermarket, 100 bucks on eBay we got. It actually fits really nice. You're no longer able to get this this spoiler anymore, but I do believe back in the day, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it was an option you can get with the higher wing spoiler. But I like the look of it. At first I didn't, but I like the look of it. So we have double-sided tape that will pull, and we have 2 screws, and that's all it is. Now, just like factory, we're gonna pull this out, and we'll be able to push it down. Yeah, you go ahead and pull that out. Nice. And then we're gonna close this gap, and then we'll tighten up the screws. That's going nowhere. Look at that, beautiful.
All right, so we got these gaskets that are originally for a DC2, but we're kind of just trimming it to make it fit for the RSX here. And it should work to keep everything nice and clean under the trunk there. Ready?
Mm-hmm. And just like that. Beautiful finish. Look at that. Love it. So we're gonna go ahead and pop on the first side skirt. We got all the clips ready to go and ready.
Yeah.
All right, put the passenger side on. All right, so we got this factory molding here that's available on AHC Garage, the website. So basically, this is the molding that bridges the gap between the lip and the bumper. It's actually really easy to put on. All you need is the adhesion promoter, which you can pick up as well. They come together. Once you put that on the back of the lip, and then you just put this on there carefully, and this will bridge the gap and make it look nice and factory. So this is the molding now. The way that we're supposed to do it is TJ's putting in the bolts loosely. Then we're gonna pull the tape and you can see how that bridges the gap right there. Okay. That's something that came out with factory on these vehicles back then, and it's still something right now that really looks good on the vehicle. It just really gives that clean look. Look at that. Ooh. We're all back here, guys, and it looks amazing. The whole entire kit transforms the look of this RSX, and I'm in love with it now. It took a lot of time to get to this point, but I'm really digging it because now what we're going to be doing is working on more of the performance and some of the upgrades to the vehicle. Today, what we're going to be doing is taking out the suspension. Now, it's not too old, but it's not the best suspension. We're going to be changing it out. We're going to have a brand new suspension going in, the coilovers, and then the guys underneath, there's a lot of noises going on, a lot of movement, a lot of parts that are just worn out. So the guys underneath the car, they're going to go ahead and handle a lot more of the suspension components that are up underneath the car. Now, if we take a look and walk over to the other side of the car, this is my favorite thing. Now, you might have seen in other videos a sneak peek, but check out the wheels. What do you guys think of the wheel color combination? I love it. It's almost gunmetal, but it's almost a slight hint of a little bit of bronze. Not completely, but I love the color combination between the two. Now, what's lacking here? If you take a look at this wheel, you see that stock factory brake, and it just sticks out to you. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. So stay tuned so you can check out what color we chose and the overall finish of the vehicle. We'll also be doing some other tidying up underneath the fender liners and doing a little bit of cleanup with some paint as well. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, guys, so like Brian said, we have a bunch of new suspension components we're going to be putting on the RSX. Pretty much basically what we are doing is we're getting rid of his TN basic coilovers, which he had them brand new, didn't really drive that car much, so they're technically not many miles on it, but it's been on the car for a few years, just haven't really been driven on. But we're going to get rid of that because we like the ride of the BC coilovers. They ride a lot better, they feel better. You know, the overall, like the way that they adjust and feel, it's a lot more than the Teen, even though the Teen is still good. Just we like these a little bit better. They ride quality is really good. As well as we are going to be replacing the lower control arms with some hard race lower control arms, as well as some hard race ball joints, because when we went to take those off, boy, those things were stuck on there pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and guess probably because it was underwater a couple times, you know. So we're going to go ahead, put some new control arms, put some new ball joints, and some new sway bar end links as well. And we'll get that thing all caught up with everything brand new on there.
And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and remove our regular master on the car for now. It actually looks really nice with the contrast with the vivid blue pearl. Take that off. So now we can take another closer look at the suspension. These are the suspension teacher is talking about. These are the TN basics, and they are brand new, but been in the car for about 2.5 years. And we want to go ahead and swap that out. These were the original control arm, like teacher mentioned as well. They see better days. They were stuck on here. Not sure about rust, but definitely stuck on there, teacher. You gotta stop with that, man. But take a look at the back here. We are going to remove the coilovers on the back. Everything else on the back still looks good. And Brian do want to refinish this fender well here, so we just go ahead and remove some of the items here, so make it a little easier for him to refinish the back portion. As far as the front, all we're going to do is replace the arm, get our new coilovers in. Once all that is finished up, then we can put our new fender liner in and perhaps the new brakes as well.
Phew. As I suspected, a little bit of water rust over there. More evidence of water.
Here's another look at the stock ball joint here. To go ahead and remove the metal clip and the boot. And I would expose the ball joint itself. Our goal is to get the axle out of the way. Then we can put our special tool to get that pressed out. And here we have the hot raised ball joint. Now we're going to do the same thing, remove that metal clip and also the boot. Then we can put on our special tool so we can go ahead and press that back in. And now with the ball joint in place, we'll go ahead and put the C-clip that's supplied in the kit. Something like that. Next thing, we'll go ahead and put our rubber boots back on.
All right, so we just put on the hard race end links for the sway bar. We'll go ahead and kind of tighten this one down, and that way we don't have to worry about the control arm getting in our way after we put it back on.
So the factory one, you have to use an Allen to hold it, as you can see in the previous clips. Now on hot race, you use a nut on one end, which is at 14, and then another nut on the outside, which is 17. Makes the install and removal a lot easier. And here we have our hot race arm here. It does utilize hardened bushing. These are OEM style bushing, so the ride shouldn't be too harsh at all. Just a little bit stiffer than the OEM stock one. And those arms actually match the car really nice. Maybe like 2 shades different and as far as colors go, but pretty close from the vivid blue pearl. Alright, so lower control arm, ball joint, and a sway bar link all perfectly installed. And next up, let's go ahead and get the car down and we're gonna start working on the coilovers. And the first thing we're gonna take out is the cotter pin on the outer tie rod end. And out here on the bench, we have both the BC and the TN side by side. Take a closer look at it. Now this is the basic version of the TN. As you can see on the very top here, it utilized the stock upper head. And then as far as the adjustment go is right over here. Now when you do adjust it, it actually compresses the spring. Now take a look at the BC. One of the things that we love about the BC, they actually rise really, really good, believe it or not. And on this particular setup here, this is the BR series, which is the basic one, and also come with the camber plates on top. And as far as the adjustment goes, you adjust it through the body. This remains the same unless you want to adjust the spring load here, but other than that, you just adjust the body for the height difference. And now look here side by side. So next up, we're going to try to adjust as close as the TN as possible, because we already pre-adjusted the height. So it looks like we got to extend that down a little bit on the BC.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Now one thing I do want to test out, TJ, would you hook this up for me? Because I do want to weight the difference between the two coilovers. So the first way to do is the BC. Why don't we do it right up here in the ear? Yeah. So let me see. Where you at? 13.22 pounds. Ooh. Next up, I know, it's so much heavier. 18.8. Wow. What was the other one again?
13.2.
Wow. So about 5.5 pounds different between the two. Comes with all new hardware on the very top. All right, just like that, we all finish up in the front suspension here. Let's go ahead and move on to the rear. Pretty straightforward. We're really only going to have 117 millimeters holding the bottom portion of the coilover. And then from there, we'll bring the car back down, and then we got 2 more screws inside the vehicle. Go. And here we have the TN on the right side, and then we have the BC on the left. The BC looks much smaller compared to the TN, and also, like I mentioned before, with the TN you do have to swap the stock upper head and the BC come together as an assembly, and always come with a new hardware. All right, next up we're gonna go ahead and weight it. This is the TN 9.34. And here we have the BC 6.61, so a little bit over 2 pounds.
Now before TJ and Mike get all the suspension going, I need to get these fender wells cleaned up. You can see how discolored and dirty they are. They're actually pressure cleaned before, but they're just very discolored. So I want them to be nice and black, and we have a lot of components that will get replaced, like the brake lines. So we'll just put some paint over them because they're gonna be coming out. But I got everything nice and masked up, and we're gonna go ahead and make this area look like the rest of the car complete. Once the plastic was on the car, we're ready to get started. I'm going to be using a product called Super Clean. It's a foaming degreaser. It's just really good to lift any last minute grease or grime, because you don't want to paint over that basically, if you're painting over dirt is not attached to anything. It's just gonna fall off. So this degreaser is just a great way overall to get everything nice and clean. I like to use it on the vehicles. We use it a lot on this build to get all the old dirt off the parts before we paint them. And the result is a surface that's basically ready for paint. We're gonna be using basically like an under seal here. And on this vehicle from factory, kind of had that texture, and a lot of it over the years just got rubbed off. So we're just putting that back on the best we can to make it look just kind of what it looked like from the factory, and this does a really good job of it. After that, we followed up with the SEM trim black. This is the same thing that we used on that rear bumper, and it's phenomenal results. It just looks so good to have a nice black wheel well that's all ready for a nice crispy suspension that's going to be going in here real soon. So let's go ahead and check it out and see what it looks like.
All right, so just like that, the rear fender linings here is all finished up, looking nice and fresh. I think next up, ready for rear suspension. What are we doing next, TJ?
We are going to put some SPC camber arms on that replace the top upper control arm. We're going to throw in our coilovers, get everything adjusted properly.
Yep, as TJ mentioned, this arm is pretty straightforward. We got the lines here for the ABS, I guess the wheel speed sensor. We have one bolt over here, two down here, and should come right out. So here we have the start arm and also the SPC right next to it. TJ doing some final adjustment here before we put it back on the car. We're gonna make this arm kick out a little bit because with the stock arm, I think it carries just about a -2 degree. We want to be a little less than that. So he's gonna do some adjustment now. Just about there.
Yeah. Actually, put this in here.
Slide that in. Now with the rear camber arm out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our rear coilovers. We got the left side in already, so now we just go ahead and slap on the passenger side. Put it straight forward. Gotta find the correct orientation. Got that. There you go. Put all the linings back together back here. We got all the lining finished up and everything buttoned up down here. Now we're gonna move on back to the front because we got some brand new fender liners here that we're gonna throw on our RSX here. And before everything get covered up, take a look at how beautiful everything is here. All new clips, everything in the factory location, new bottle. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and put that fender liner on.
Well, we got the car all together now. We're still waiting on the brakes. They didn't make it in yet, but hold tight because on the next episode, you're gonna see the brakes getting changed and the rotors as well. The whole area is gonna look really good. We also have some more goodies. We have a hybrid racing shifter that's coming up. Really excited about that. DC Sports intake. I can't wait to see what that looks like in here. I also got a brand new custom leather red stitch steering wheel for the interior of the vehicle to complete the look. And we're also gonna top it off with a new exhaust. Now you guys already saw the wheels, the Rigger Masters. I think they look great. It's a great color combination. What do you guys think? We're gonna wrap those up with the tires on the next episode and get this even more to being complete. We'll see you guys on the next episode.